is very interesting. Cloak and Dagger, though, is going to be denied on the side of MVNE. So locking in the Luna here. So an Emma Frost and Luna lock in for AssembleFire.
I like the adjustments from AssembleFire, right? They see the Loki lock-in. You want to be able to derive as many strategist ults away from MVN. So away goes the Cloak and Dagger, away goes the Luna. You want to be able to maybe take those away, and that leaves the Loki with basically but a Soul Resurgence, which is arguably one of the weaker strategist ults, I would say. I mean, Mantis as a player insane with those damage buffs, but the ultimate is, I want to say, a wedge lower than, let's say, Invisible Dimension or Fate of Both Worlds.
That's true. I agree with that. And I know that we also talk about Eternal Bond, and that being also countered with a lot of ultimates. You can headshot, especially with like a Hawkeye or Meteor M. So maybe this is more of like a preference pick or maybe comfort pick on the Mantis side, unless they also want to run the Warlock, and they're just going to run the Guardians comp. But the Loki, I would say, if you're able to run Loki, you're kind of in an advantage. However, AssembleFire is kind of known for their far-range pokes. The lanterns still keep them alive, but it just kind of denies AssembleFire for going for that 0-1 Iron Fist. So maybe 0-1's going to go with that Groot that he does use if he's not going to go dive.
I thought about that as well. It's different for them, and right now 0-1 hopping onto a Vanguard, a slightly different look for them as they now flood this domination site here. Oh, the jump coming out from, I believe, the rocket boost. Yep. But we're going to start things off with at least a 2-2-2 for the side of AssembleFire, and something similar for the MVN side as well. No, triple strategist we go.
Okay, so they do have at least the Loki and the Mantis to keep everyone alive. I liched onto this, Ultron to keep everyone alive. 0-1 getting the crystal out of the way. Chew Tiger able to actually eliminate 0-1 in the process. Holding onto that mag bubble, about to eliminate another, but still stays alive. The Star-Lord staying alive. So now it is actually MVNE leading the charge here, unlocking the first point.
We talk about comfort picks. Lich on the Ultron, Chew Tiger on their signature Storm. These are two extremely comfortable picks for these two players, and MVM are looking to really put up a storm, pun intended, against the side of AssembleFire here.
So let's see if AssembleFire can weather out that storm, or the early storm of this domination map of MVNE. Again, the first one, this forest-like area is going to have a lot of high grounds here. We're going to see a jump onto the side of the Captain America by Mafia to try to disrupt the backlines, but Chew Tiger keeping everything, all the damage up to par here. And no one is actually damaging Chew Tiger, forcing out the Eternal Bond. Let's see if he's going to try to get a pick off here. We do have the Omega Hurricane ready online. No eliminations just yet. Soul Resurgence to keep everyone alive, while Skinny with the Meteor M just to deny any heals going on. And everyone is still alive. They're still fighting for the point, multitudes.
It's going to be Heil first drop after the wave of strategist outs that come out. Once again, teams will find their own. Rage of Ultron just firing from the top side. Can't find any value, unfortunately, as AssembleFire are cleaning up shop. Finally getting themselves back on the board with 60+% for the side of MVM. It's a bit of a stagger towards the end, but Rethan will finally go down and rejoin their group and spawn.
Man, Kingdom God putting in the work, putting the fear of God with that Kraken impact. And this is when the Loki clones betray you, because he can keep refreshing with his Kraken impact once he gets those clones going. So great retake on AssembleFire's side. Let's see what adjustments MVNE is going to do. They went all back to respawn point, but they haven't changed their strategy just yet. They're still on the two flyers with Chew Tiger, but he is getting the brunt of the damage here. We do see Kissmore able to actually take out Chew Tiger in the process with this Iron Man. Kiss me more.
That's a big one for the side of MVM, right? They have to really try and force their way back. They know the numbers are to their advantage. They don't want to just claim up stuff. They also are lacking some ultimates, so this is a great time for them to farm up and get a couple of ultimates under their belt. Because for all things considered, that last team fight, AssembleFire did claim their victory onto it, but it was very expensive for the side of MVM, having used, I believe, 3 ultimates. And Kiss memories around this corner with the Iron Man ult. I think they're about to be baited. I think they're about to be baited with a plasma cannon.
Oh, this is so scary, but Lich already moving on away here, so they're still holding it. 0-1, though, popping in the Psionic Seduction to keep everyone at bay. Maybe Kiss More is waiting for everyone to get hypnotized before he pulls it off, but Fate of Both Worlds to keep everyone alive. Mafia wrecking havoc into the backlines here, able to get a pick up on Hale's side while he continues on. Rage of Ultron is going to be used for Lich to keep everyone alive, but still so far in the front lines. I have Akamoto able to take out... No, Kiss Me More stays alive. We continue on here. He's going to get a good vantage point, but let's see if Kiss Me More, he's going to get the maximum pulse. He is able to take out some, but not everyone. But this is going to be it for AssembleFire to get 100% on point.
Wow, honestly, the hold coming from AssembleFire, right? It looked a little shaky up front because MVM took that point. 67%, I believe, was the number to beat, but they go the full way, right? Just able to get enough ultimates. The smart move with, I think, Hale or True Tiger dropping so early.
Yeah.
And then allowing AssembleFire to push their way, get more ultimates under their belt, so they were able to sustain the fight that MVM brought towards the tail end.
Yeah, and it all started with an excellent pickoff. I mean, like, capping off the first team fight won by Kingdom God, right? And then, like you said, Kiss Me More was kind of waiting and sitting on that pulse cannon just to be ready, but 0-1. They played that discipline game. 0-1. On to, since we're not going to see his Iron Fist, he does have the Emma Frost to work with, and Mafia just disrupting the backline, and right now it seems like a party on AssembleFire's side. However, MVNE going Tien's Groot could change things because we're going to the dance floor of Krakoa. So it's a lot more compact of a space compared to the forest area. So let's see how this Groot is going to change things up on the side of MVNEsport.
Yeah, that high ground as well is what I'm worried about. You know, there's a lot of high grounds, to be honest, and Kiss More is really trying to adapt to take these long sight lines and possibly negate any sort of wall behavior. But it's gonna be Eternal Bond starting off from Xenox and Kingdom God with one of their own. The Meteor M goes wide, unfortunately, but everyone is still sustained with so many strategist ults. But Kingdom God are hunting for more, and again, finding so much value, like you call it, with all these low-key clones to be able to just push MVM off their mark. Kingdom God looking for marks, and will find every one of them.
It's deja vu all over again and again by Kingdom God unlocking the 10% mark as they push the space. They're taking up more space, so now coming into this, it's going to be a little tough. They're not going the Doctor Strange to trying to cut off the sight lines here. They're going to try to march their way down and just want to take note. Mafia is waiting for the right opportunity to get a peel off onto the back line. We're still in Kingdom God's sight here, so they're forcing the cooldowns for them to try to touch point here on the dance floor, but can they do it is the question, Multitudes.
The real question is, whether they can or not. You know, so many ultimates being used, but right now that feed is lighting up red as AssembleFire are cleaning up shop. Even the low-key clones don't stand a chance. And MVN, they started off with, you know, using that Eternal Bond to maybe hold that space, and you expect that AssembleFire fall back onto the dance floor, maybe opening things up for MVN, but instead, you know, AssembleFire, they push W, they move into the Eternal Bond knowing that they can be sustained, wanting to bring the fight over to MVN.
Yeah, W's in the chat, and W's for AssembleFire continuing to push the pressure here, and now forcing out the Omega Hurricane as well as the Rage of Ultron on the side of MVNE, but we do get Tien's peeling off Kiss Me More, as well as another. Slowly but surely, MVNE are marching their way towards this dance floor. A lot of KOs on the dance floor, courtesy of MVNEsport. So, now that they claim point, we're kind of in a quid pro quo situation here. AssembleFire 74%. In the previous match, it was MVNE to unlock the point, so now they got a hold.
Yeah, if history repeats itself, MVM need to have an early pick, push, and get their ultimates online, because AssembleFire, they might bring the fire here with, you know, that Kingdom God bringing the heat. It's gonna be starting off with the Meteor M, finding Xenox, who had the Eternal Bond worked around the map. I believe now we've got the Psionic Seduction, but Skinny with the shields just coming down. The backline now contested. Kingdom God on the Kraken impact doing wonders. Can't find anything with a beautiful sleep. And Kiss Me More trying to do their best, but has to zip and zap their way out as well. MVM finding some success, finding some momentum, forcing 0-1 back on their heels.
What a scrambly situation there. I think Kissmore tried to go for that pulse cannon, but couldn't get any value out of it. 0-1 trying to flank the back lines to try and get some value out of the Psionic Seduction, but unfortunately not able to get that. MVNE doing a good hold, and Chu Tiger and Hill able to get 2 elims on the board and still holding on to their ultimates. Super important for them to get this 70% mark unlocked. They still have possibly 2 more team fights, but AssembleFire still sticking to their same lineup. They're not going to change things up just yet, but man, they need to march that dance floor pronto, multitudes, because time's a ticking for MVNE.
Time's a ticking indeed, right? Now, AssembleFire opting to maybe work this high ground here. A lot more cover for Kiss Me More to work their magic as Iron Man. The Uni Beam comes out to make their space, but gets denied instantly as we skirt the side. Fate of Both Worlds activated by the side of MVNEsport as well as AssembleFire to really just keep so much sustain. I see MVN throwing everything in the kitchen sink. It's a Mega Hurricane doing so much work, but it's gonna be Skinnies and Teens, Vanguards to boot, making so much space. Overtime is clocked right now for the side of MVN. They're really wanting to put up a bit of a show, bit of a fight, and force us into point number 3 as 10 goes ham. It's gonna be Mafia doing absolutely everything but can't do anything more as the Captain America Spider-Man. Bit of a Hail Mary effort, and we're going the distance to point number 3.
That tracking on that Spider-Man was insane. I thought Spider-Man was going to hold it a little bit, but the eliminations were there. My goodness, they really tried their best to try and win that last team fight, but it started falling left and right on the side of AssembleFire. So really a back and forth between both teams. Now what are the adjustments that are going to be made? I see the Kingdom God hovering on the Wolverine here. Maybe they want more Kidnap just to face off this group, or just to face off any of the vanguards that MVNE is going to bring to the table. But man, what a masterful end. Really, just a back and forth, a mirror match of sorts with how well that played out. It was AssembleFire to be able to retake map number 1, then come map number 2. MVNE retook it and left no crumbs on the table for AssembleFire. So now, last map, I think this is the garden stage. So a lot of high ground once again, kind of an open area. How is it going to happen?
I mean, MVN, they're eating pretty good after that, and I think their triple strategists were really able to stagger it out just a little bit better than map point number 1, to say the least. So I think they're keeping all these players alive, keeping their star player Chu Tiger online as long as possible is the name of the game here as we move into this garden. These beautiful trees will be worked away quickly as the damage will come out quick, and the Hulk comes down to such a low level, but will be sustained as Kissmore will fire back, finding Lich a powerful and important strategist.
Yup, 0-1 also have Psionic Seduction, but we do see Kingdom God able to take out Rethan and Kiel as well. Taking out, well, I would say like the strategist. So excellent start for AssembleFire. They can't celebrate just yet because in the previous map, they did take the first point at the start of the map, but it was MVNE to bite back and answer back. So great start. They added more dive with the Hulk and the Wolverine. So MVNE still sticking to their guns, able to get a triple strategist going. But when it comes to the displacement, I wonder how they're going to respond coming into this next team fight. Chu Tiger immediately going for the Omega Hurricane. Can he pick anyone off?
That is a huge yes. Finding 2 Skinny as well with the Meteor M will find immediate value as now the response is quick and decisive from the Vietnam team. Blink and you absolutely miss it. The point going over to MVN with a couple of very well placed ultimates. I don't want to say that I don't think they overused either. Now Lich, even with the Rage of Ultron, you want to be able to save up a few more ultimates because AssembleFire, they're going to have a couple of their own. Yeah,
true. And looking at Tien's also, he's close to having the Strangling Prison of Groot. If they tag that on with the Rage of Ultron, they could get a lot of pickoffs. But now, we do see Psionic Seduction just for the push. And now, Lich able to pop the Rage of Ultron, keeping everyone alive. And now we get to see a pickoff on Hellstead on Kingdom God. So another domino piece falls in favor of MVNE as they take this next team fight, taking out Kiss Me More in the process.
Yo, Heal. Heil as well as Lich doing absolute wonders. They're strategists, but they're duelists. True and true. Not to be overshadowed by True Tiger, none the least, as Puny Banner will be quickly dispatched here. I mean, it started off with a good entrance, but you know, the walls that come from Teen were able to really deny all that action, and then the right plays from Lich as well was the right move here, as now Hulk wanting to make a bit of chaos in that backline, skirting the entire garden to really wreak havoc. We're starting things off with, I think, Hale responding with a Soul Resurgence to be able to sedation comes in huge, and the AssembleFire are now starting things strong.
The excellent maximum pulse just for the pickoff here on Hale's side. So it did start with Mafia able to skirt the backlines, and he did get that sleep, but everyone was so scared of the Hulk they didn't realize that the DPS were actually getting the victory here. But now it seems like AssembleFire has the retake already.
I almost thought that Rethan was being staggered, but was just waiting for the cooldowns to be able to teleport out, so we'll be able to regroup with the team. AssembleFire's basically right on them at the moment. It's gonna be the Mega Hurricane and the Strangling Prison. What a combo wombo to take down 2, make that 3. This AssembleFire scrambling for answers after all of that. Mafia's gonna be able to get 1, but True Tiger and Teens fire back with 1 of their own, and sooner than later they will claim the point and continue their rampage on this site.
Multitude, it's getting close. We're stuck at 78% on AssembleFire side, and slowly but surely MVNE slowly gaining their traction here. They're not switching up shop. They're still sticking to the Mafia Hulk and 0-1 with the Psionic Seduction about to come online on the Emma Frost. So now this is possibly the final team fight for AssembleFire, because we're already at the 90% mark. How do they choose to come correct? We have Lich with the Rage of Voltron already being used. True Tiger takes out Kingdom God in the process, and we continue on to try and take out Kiss Me More, but Lich able to disrupt the backlines.
Lich is free, a free agent right now, doing absolutely everything, and there are too many players on the side of AssembleFrost dropping. No one's on their side getting KOs, and the back line is a bit of a mess right now as they find Puny Banner, Spider-Man, a Hail Mary that we've seen before, and even True Tiger hopping onto the Doctor Strange wasn't enough, and it will go the way.
I love how you said it, Lich, the free agent, able to get pickoffs left and right. Who said this is a strategist? This is a duelist masked as a strategist and able to get that incredible performance. And it is going to be MVP True Tiger coming in clutch with the Doctor Strange. But I mean, we did see him on that storm. We saw a lot of elims on his. So maybe True Tiger coming in with an excellent stats to boost. But you have to admit, Multitudes, it was going back at
the same thing. Okay, the save from Magneto comes out, and this. Oh, no, wait. They were just playing with my feelings now, Posh. They're just playing with my feelings. Dude,
MVNE, you got to follow the script. You gave us a script to follow. And now you're playing with our... It's going to be Loki that's going to be saved. Sorry, we got to turn to page 38. So Loki gets saved. My goodness. Sorry, I don't want to spoil anything, chat, but we rehearsed this with the teams. So we have a script to follow. So hopefully, MVNE followed the script. Thank you. All right, sorry, Multitudes. I talked over you. You're supposed to talk now.
No. We're all Gucci as right now Rethane hoping to continue to find value on that Loki. It has done wonders. You know, their triple strategist has really come out strong, and I feel like maybe not so much in point number 1, but definitely in point number 3 that they 2 and 3 that they were able to find the right pacing and momentum by staggering like their Soul Resurgence according to their God of Mischief, and so that was really crucial for them to keeping everyone alive.
Yeah, I like their pickups. MVNE kind of going with the same type of lock-ins that we saw in the previous round. The fact that they're able to save Loki is actually a really big W already. And also Magneto in the process. So we talked about, right, the 4 usual suspects of the bans, and they got 2 of them. So MVNE looking real strong so far. But let's see what AssembleFire chooses to lock in. And will they prioritize Vanguards, or will they prioritize something else? Seems like Emma Frost is going to be chosen by AssembleFire.
That's fair, you know. You got to remember the pool of Vanguards and the pool of strategists. They're really small, so you know it's no surprise that they lock those in. But interesting enough, okay, that's fair. I like the ban that comes out from Hella. From the side of AssembleFire against MVM. That is definitely a targeted ban. Perhaps True Tiger has rocked it. I personally haven't seen it just yet, so it is interesting to say the least. But they'll go ahead and ban out Storm from AssembleFire.
Yeah, I think maybe the ban from the Hela was just so that you don't get that buff on Loki, for him not to come back, and also maybe the Mantis pick. Yeah, so just gotta get rid of the any type of respawn timer that's gonna be nullified. So just take that out of the table on the side of MVNE. But the fact that they still got Loki, they don't even technically need that Luna, because you could just copy the opponent's Luna. So the Luna has to stay out of line of sight. Easier said than done, though. But I did like that they took out the Luna on their side. So now, if they're going to have to go for a support ult, they will possibly... Oh, they're not even considering Loki for now. Interesting. Maybe on the attack side.
Maybe no, they're
throwing away the script. Oh, there you go. Thank God.
On the Loki, yeah. Triple strategy.
They're not
still
following
in
the
order
script,
here.
Multitudes. What's going on? Sorry.
But working that 2-1-3, right? It's very signature of MVM so far. As now, AssembleFire in control of the cart, want to make some space. I feel like MVM were slightly late to the game, so the defensive structure is gonna be a bit staggered. As right now they're trying to hold their forces around this first corner.
Yeah, the first corner is usually the tough one. Defender side does have the high ground, but 0-1, you know what? He's really good on the duelist side, specifically on the Iron Fist, what we talked about on this map, but he can definitely wreak havoc and rain fire from above here as he uses the Johnny Sword to take out TN in the process. So now MVNE out one big Vanguard, and we're going to keep it going as Kiss Me More takes out more and more as MVNE's defenses fall slowly but surely.
Wow, I mean, this is a strong response from the side of AssembleFire, right? This is their map pick. They lost that first, but it's going to be coming in with a huge barrel leap through the portal of MVN, just denying any space, but it's a little not to be had. As right now, Xenox is going to be able to recover Kingdom God with a BRB. This feed lights up red. AssembleFire are making quick work on the NVM players. Has to resort to, I believe, this invisible boundaries, to say the least, that comes out from Chabakyu from AssembleFire. It's too much to bear from the side of MVN. Just cleaning up shop. It's a matter of time before Skinny will drop. Not before taking one down, but I don't know how much that will buy them.
My goodness, talk about all gas, no brakes. Like, okay, I got a BRB. Let me be right back as I try to jump towards the enemy lines on this portal. Still get the resurrect. It's totally fine. 0-1 able to do the cleanup. Mafia gaining a lot of value as well, being the main that vanguard of this team. We do have 3-2 ultimates on AssembleFire's side. 0-1 not needing anything to take out Chu Tiger and forcing out the Soul Resurgence on MVNE's side. 0-1 now lighting up the floor of Yggdrasil. Wow, we do have Psionic Seduction, and now the tandem able to work in AssembleFire's favor.
Absolutely disgusting work, right? Great slam from the side of 0-1 to make their presence known, and then once that happened, you really want to be able to create your own momentum and force, you know, the back line into shambles. So AssembleFire really trying to work the magic here. And it starts off with Kingdom God with a brilliant feral leap. But True Tiger has one to response of their own with a 4K plus Rethan. A brilliant Omega Hurricane to force the players of AssembleFire back in their place.
Oh my god, the Kingdom God able to get that feral leap, but you saw that the Loki clone was able to pop the lantern to keep everyone alive, and you called it the Omega Hurricane, a cleanup shop here. What a strong response on MVNE's side, and usually this is where it comes to haunt the attacker's side. Once they pass this turn, it's so hard for them to walk back and create angles. So how will AssembleFire respond? No feral leap for you. God, I think Chu Tiger's life flashed before his eyes, but now 0-1 unfortunately unable to get a slam because of the lanterns being put up here by the Loki. Let's see as he goes for the Soul Resurgence by Rethan, and we continue on this fight.
Now the thing in place already has clobbering time to make some space, coupled with a brilliant pulse cannon will find Rethan off the back, shutting that down. Heal, the copy will be sent back as well, and finally and suddenly the momentum shift is immediate despite the thing trying to make their best efforts to hold this card in place, but is not, as I believe there's not going to be a chance for this Vietnam team to touch this point.
Yeah, it seems like everyone's kind of staggered and they're not going for that Doctor Strange portal place. Unlocking the second point with relative ease, but man, was that a dicey situation. Two Tiger getting picked off by 0-1. 0-1 getting so much out of this Human Torch. So Two Tiger has to be very careful, trying to get the pull onto this duelist from the skies, get the Feral Leap, but no. I mean, just Kingdom God getting so much clippable moments on these Feral Leaps. You have to be very careful if you're a flyer in the sky.
But you have to be able to secure those KOs, but fortunately you can't. The BRB give them a second life, a second chance here. It's going to be the Psionic Seduction coming up from the side of AssembleFire. We're going to start things off by heal, forcing the Invisible Dimensions, the Slice, the Dice. Kingdom God doing absolute work in that back line. And Kiss More trying to gain some of this ultimate for their own advantage. Doesn't even need it. Shuts down Rethan plus Skinny to keep that boat alive.
AssembleFire with great authority marching their way down, kind of just adding pressure to their spawn location here. Kingdom God ready for a kidnap. He's just waiting for the right opportunity. And just like that, they keep marching forward here.
It's that team up between both Storm plus Iron Human Torch that gives them that ability. But unfortunately, True Tiger will be met with their demise as the brawl continues. The Uni-Beam brilliantly done from the side of Kiss Me More, as no one wants to be able to kiss these lips. It's too much firepower coming from the Iron Man, just raining so much damage. We'll find heal as well. That's an impossible pick. Rethan will be punished, to say the least. No more strategists for MVM, and they're forced to fall back into their spawn.
And True Tiger forced to go for the Star-Lord here to try and stop the damage, able to jump back into spawn, but the objective continues to move on here. Let's see if True Tiger is going to unlock the Galactic Legend in time. No bubble, he just goes straight in and ease his way to try and get some damage. We have the Thing making his way out of spawn, but Mafia gets taken out in the process by Skinny. So MVNE holding on for their dear life here as the seconds wind down, but that's a lot of time on the board, Multitudes.
That is so much time. They have to do everything and the kitchen sink to be able to hold this, and it doesn't look great right now because they're dropping like flies, and 0-1 will be able to clean up shop along with their duelist Lich. The last ditch effort. Kingdom God is going to miss that Feral Leap, but no matter, enough bodies on this cart for them to push in with a minute 30 to spare.
Kingdom God smiling from ear to ear with how that matchup went. I would say quite dominant fashion. They were able to face any adversity that came their way, despite MVNE having, I'd say, a really good pickup onto the Loki side. There were some kidnaps that didn't quite work out in their favor, but the ones that did were a lot to boot for them to be able to continue march on. So dominant performance on AssembleFire's side. Now we switch things up. They got to go on the defense now. And what can MVNE do to keep pushing the cart forward and force an overtime? Seems like they might go for a dive with Captain America, but we just have to wait and see who is going to be using this Captain America.
Yeah, that might be the case here. True Tiger rocking the Star-Lord. Not necessarily very dive heavy, but if you time it well, could make that Captain America pick a lot more value added. Now, on a defensive, I don't want to speak just yet because they still have a bit of time to maybe muck around and choose it, but they're opting for, you know, triple duelists and really maybe their comfort picks coming out. Actually, sorry, AssembleFire side, they've locked in there. They've locked it in already. So.
They have. Yeah, they have. I'm just thinking MVNE, they might switch out the Rocket for someone. They could go Guardians if they want to. I think maybe they're just getting the shields for now because someone was considering the Guardians comp, which they are going to do. So maybe they just want to bring firepower and overwhelming offense to the table here with their respawn time being so good. But how can you do that when you get kidnapped? Nice jump away here and the snap just to keep TNs alive. So how will AssembleFire respond as the Guardians come for the objective?
Yeah, I'm scared of the Guardians team up, right? Like, there's so many bodies that have, and a beautiful kidnap that doesn't even hit the floor. Kiss Me More with the beautiful tracking. The revive's gonna come out in time, I believe. No, he'll will opt to go back and regroup because it is so close to the spawn. Just this first corner as a second Feral Leap comes out. The tracking, you know, the calls being made from the side of AssembleFire, just all up helping Kingdom God on the slice and dice will do work.
Exactly. It's just so overwhelming, the offense, right? You'd think that it was MVNE going to push the pace of this dance, but man, Chabakyu able to get the push off the Feral Leap. No, actually the push off the Kidnap and continuing on just to get more damage. So AssembleFire is doing really well holding this cart. We do see it, the change. Tienz is not going to go for the Star-Lord anymore. We're going to go with the Groot, but the Guardians team up is still onto the Mantis side. But Kiss Me More, oh my goodness, with the way he's able to track, trying to go for the Elim onto the Groot, but still able to sustain here with the Eternal Bond to keep him alive.
As well as, you know, the Soul's Resurgence, Maximum Pulse will find heal in that back line, and it's a beautiful start for the side of AssembleFire. They're really holding their ground here. There's so many flyers. It is, you know, a big, high risk, high reward, and they're absolutely being rewarded for it.
Yeah, so my apologies. Chu Tiger still onto the Star-Lord here, but Skinny gets eliminated. We're going to see more from Mafia as we get the dunk onto 0-1, taking out Lich, and he continues on. Two strategists out the table. It's only Chu Tiger that is staggered. He cannot push alone, and AssembleFire really bullying and marching their way towards this victory. Well, not really, just holding their ground. The immovable object, AssembleFire. It's MVNE that needs to make a move and a play to continue on here to unlock the first checkpoint.
So it's going to be the Galactic Legends to start things off, and you know, they're on the backline, not realizing the Star-Lord's in there, but Star-Lord will still find their mark onto 0-1 with a 180, and the spin to win comes out. Too much sustain to make any sort of capitalization, as now AssembleFire finding their mark on the backline in the midst of all this chaos. Teens will be taken care of, but the Karmic Revival, they know exactly where it is. I think the Soul Bomb was too strong and will be able to sustain, and now they're flooding it up from this Caravas.
So that's actually a great use of the Karmic Revival, but Mantis gets taken out of the equation, probably going to get resurrected right away. Mafia doing such a good job, just adding so much pressure onto the front lines, continuing on, putting the barrier up. Speaking of barrier, invisible barrier is going to get popped up, and now Xenos gets eliminated by Tienz. Tienz still looking real healthy in this fight, while we're trying to focus attention onto the Iron Man, but 0-1 gets one. Skinny takes out Kingdom God, so a response on MVNE's side looking real good as they stagger AssembleFire in this defense.
Absolutely ridiculous. I lost count of how many ultimates were invested from both teams, but eventually it is going to be MVM going to be able to push the card. All eyes on Kingdom God, who are now changed to, you know, Doctor Strange. Could maybe get a last-ditch effort here. The portal comes in just in the nick of time. The wall to be able to deny some of it, but 0-1 will be quick to boot, as well as Kiss Me More couldn't find any more value as True Tiger takes to the skies. The spin to win, the bullets too much to bear. Mafia is doing their absolute best to hold down the fort, but once again, this Star-Lord finding so much value.
So much return onto this Star-Lord. It had to cook, guys. Diesel start, but he was able to kind of pick up the pieces, forcing the overtime, but ultimately it was MVNE to win that. I'd say that was such a good response, like the Star-Lord going with the Galactic Legend. It was kind of costly for them to go for the teleport, but you might as well try, because it was already the final seconds. And nothing lost on the side of AssembleFire. They're just going to switch things up. Mafia back onto being the solo vanguard of this team. And now they just have to stop this checkpoint from being unlocked if they want to keep things on their side. So Tien's doing a great job on this Groot, while Chu Tiger just getting so much elims on this Star-Lord.
Absolutely insane, right? They say the best defense is a great offense, and that's exactly what AssembleFire are doing. Forcing back Skinny, you know, with teens out of the way. It's a single vanguard, and there's only so much that they can work. But the right click from Rethan will find their mark onto Kingdom God, and suddenly the spin to win, and the pressure is now on, especially with, you know, the boundaries being come out. The pulse cannon doesn't find a bit of a mark, sends these teams scattering, but right onto the cart they go.
Yeah, true, and they're still holding on to the Karmic Revival. Chu Tiger on the Galactic Legend, while Lich, Soul Resurgence, everyone alive. It was only Tienz that got eliminated, but Kiss Me More continues on to add more elims on the board. So Kiss Me More doing such a good job with these beams, but we do see Kingdom God taking out the first Vanguard, the old Soul Vanguard on MVNE's side. So AssembleFire hold their point. Gotta watch out. Wolverine from above could get a really good kidnap here. They can't afford to lose any more time because we're less than 1 minute away from this round being over.
We are indeed, and they still have a couple of great ultimates. 0-1 holding on to the Supernova. This could be the choke point that they want to see backing up, ready to reposition as well. They're wanting to maybe do a little bit of a bait as the Kingdom God will try to find their mark. Last thing comes out, the slice and dice will find True Tiger. An important one, finds a second, but the focus fire is too much, so the trade comes out.
Yeah, so I think the displacement did its job. So we do see that so much pressure is coming out of MVNE's side because they need to touch point in less than 20 seconds. To see them trying to get elimination. They still have to march all their way back. Not going for the Doctor Strange, but True Tiger trying to go for the back lines here. He does not have ultimate just yet. Maximum Pulse, can he get any value? He takes out 2, but gets eliminated by True Tiger in the process. So a 2-for-1 pickoff, but Kingdom God continuing to rain these claws onto the Vanguard. But we do get elimination on Mafia's side. Overtime is still on the board here. Can MVNE hold on to the point? That is the question. AssembleFire slowly but surely have to go back to point here. They haven't pushed past this midway mark.
Yeah, and True Tiger, wanting to bring the fight a little bit. They know they're pressured. They know they have to keep people on cart, but regardless, wanting to hold this choke out of phase 2 is so small, and we're gonna start things off with a great wall isolating these fights back and forth. Has to use the Uni Beam to start things off. It's gonna be the Supernova to maybe disrupt this backline, and 0-1 is just trying to pound on all these. The Galactic Legends will find their mark.
Wow.
Unfortunately, the Meteor doesn't, but it's so much of a defensive hold as right now AssembleFire can't find too much value at the moment. Kingdom God will find their, as well as MVM just slowly chugging along. So many players on this card.
Oh my goodness, AssembleFire still to stay alive after that Galactic Legend. Bubble plus E means you're able to dive in and Kiss Me More, taking out Lich in this scenario. And look at that, just left and right. The eliminations, the cleanup, AssembleFire able to hold point.
And that's map number 2 going the way. We're still tied 1-for-1. AssembleFire absolutely bringing their action on their attack side and showing that this map pick is truly theirs.
Yeah, incredible. Well, I would say incredible second game here, just really going back and forth. And 0-1, man, this guy is a duelist main through and through to get this MVP. I want to see his final hits. I want to see his stats when it comes down to it. 55-0. That is what you want to see if you have a teammate like 0-1 with 20 final hits. He was definitely a big playmaker in all this. Next to Kiss Me More, which had 56 elims and 24 final hits. So incredible hold and incredible push on the side of AssembleFire. But man, this was kind of back and forth. It was really going down to OT.
It was really indeed, and the thing to note here is the heals that are coming out from AssembleFire are like 50% more than your opponents. You have to take note that yes, they're running a single Vanguard, so the triple duelists are going to subject themselves for a lot more firepower, a lot more damage. But these two
to us. Is Blaze Raven looking at this? We're thinking a penny. I don't know.
Yeah, that's an interesting one to say the least.
I don't know.
At least on the side of MVM, they are starting to prioritize their Vanguards. A little different from what we saw in the past. The quick lock-in onto the Magneto. Typically, they wait until the second lock-in to reserve it because AssembleFire have been really targeting, like everyone else, right? Loki, the Punisher coming so quickly as a ban as well.
Yeah, that's true. But we do see maybe a cancellation of the Guardians. Well, Mantis is going to get banned out on the side of MVNE to just not have AssembleFire use the Mantis in the mix. But we're going to see a pretty much... Wow, actually, they're prioritizing Vanguards and not Strategist here, considering the Emma Frost. So they're gonna actually battle out firepower with Vanguard, so bolstering the defense here, because this is one of the rare occasions where you have Magneto and Emma locked in.
Indeed. You often don't see this combination together because, I wonder if AssembleFire, they've cooked too hard, right? They're like, let's ban out a bunch of other players, and then the Psylocke ban coming out as well, and they've basically allowed MVN to really secure some of the best Vanguards that we have here. Just groundbreaking Psionic Seduction plus a Meteor to boot if you time those well, can do absolute destruction.
Yeah, and the fact that AssembleFire is gonna have the fact save up the Storm. Storm and Emma is really good. At least they still have their fair share of firepower and also Vanguards. I'm just scared. Yeah, you got to ban out Luna, ban out a strategist here just to really stop them from surviving. So I wonder what MVNE is going to go for with their last ban as the clock winds down. So let us know, chat, what you guys think. Wow, they're actually going to go with Punisher. So they just want to take out firepower and just go with like an iron wall of defense on their side with the Emma Frost and the Magneto.
I like it. I like it. You know, the Ultron ban is also quite in particular smart because you want to deny, you know, the Flyers to come out. As it is, AssembleFire did strip away Punisher for the side of MVN, so they possibly want to take to the skies, and right now from the hovers, it looks like the sky to go they will, especially because AssembleFire did lock in the Storm. So yes, that is going to be the strategy they used in the previous map. They want to bring that over. Once again, you know, we talked about it during the pre-show. A little surprised that MVN didn't try to adjust a bit more. Perhaps they thought, okay, double shields might be the key to preventing so much vertical poke.
Yeah, we'll just have to see. Swanee agreeing in chat that this is a cool type of change up when it comes to the picks and bans, if it's targeted or not. I'm excited to see how this is going to shake out, especially since we know that this is a very, well, I mean, at the start, very defense-sided. How will I would say MVNE, well, we know that they're going to be very defensive with their start, but it's not how you defend it, it's also how you attack. And here we have AssembleFire already marching their way down with one Vanguard on Mafia's side. That's what they're usually known for, and a lot of Flyers that they have to worry about. Sino is giving the backup here with the BRB, so they can go a bit risky with the first initial dive.
They can indeed. Once again, Season of Flyers comes true. Look at how much verticality. It's like a little aim labs practice as we start to take the right side, but the Vanguards are aware of it, forcing Kingdom Golf off this. Look at how much vertical support comes out from MVN. They're now asking AssembleFire to rotate around the left side and start their contest on this point.
I like this. They're definitely just rotating clockwise or counterclockwise, just to be able to make sure that they have the advantage coming into this. We've seen it before. 0-1 getting sucked in, but ain't able to get it. Hiel and Skinny take out Mafia, Chabakyu, and Kingdom God. Chabakyu's gonna get revived by the BRB, but it's still not gonna be enough here. Good hold and good contest by MVNE to hold this ground.
Yeah, I mean, with the strategist basically uncontested on that high ground, it just allows, you know, the forward folks to take all of that map control, take all that space, while still being very much in charge. And on the other side of the map, there's not much terrain to hide around. Mafia couldn't get away with their life. Unfortunately, True Tiger will find their mark. Lich a second to boot as well.
Slowly but surely, MVNE just slowly whittling away. Once you just get rid of the first domino piece, the rest will follow suit. And MVNE, nice second team fight that they did win. Coming into this third one, there is an even ground when it comes to ultimates, but as I say that, Lich taking out the Rocket Raccoon.
What a huge stagger, right? Like, just to be wary about where Rocket Raccoon might be. I feel like AssembleFire, they really need to pivot to the left side of the screen right now on that high ground. Very fragmented, possibly waiting for Xenox to come back in there. AssembleFire, the good news to them is that they do have a fair number of ults. The Flyers taken to the skies. Lich being an absolute nuisance, just dodging around. And once again, True Tiger with absolute precision will find Kiss Me More. And that's really the pulse cannon out of action.
And this is, I think, what MVNE wants. They wanted a far-range poke fight because when it comes to 1v1s, I think they're able to actually get it without the chaos being pursued here. But Kingdom God going for the Omega Hurricane as well as 0-1. This allows the Eternal Bond to come on out, and also the Meteor M just to keep everyone alive. Invisible Barrier also keeping everyone alive on the side of MVNE. AssembleFire does get one eliminated. BRB is going to be used. 0-1 does eliminate True Tiger in the process, though. So, AssembleFire, this could be their opening for them to capture point.
It's dodgy, though. Kingdom God now on the Spider-Man. Just touched right. Immediate value coming out. Sonic Seduction will be popped by TNs to maybe negate some of this action. But AssembleFire are still finding their hits. Kiss Me More will drop the Vanguard at the very least, and True Tiger in a Hail Mary effort being just whittled down by Kiss Me More. The revenge KO to boot nonetheless from the Iron Man. And suddenly, second point in cahoots. But Lich on the portal will come in time to contest in the last possible second.
Wow. What a push, just to stagger the jump into that portal, but we got an instant elimination on Rethan's side. So Chabakyu keeping everyone alive. Well, we do have the first ultimate that's gonna get popped, not quite. We don't have anything just yet. It seems like Kiss Me More might be leading in terms of getting the ultimate, but as I say that, MVNE slowly but surely fall down, and they're gonna be pushing this point. 0-1's gonna gain some ground here and just try to contest as the objective starts to climb to the midway mark of this map.
Yeah, the whole point about this second phase here is who can really take this high ground and mid-space advantage, right? Like the defense, they do not want to be caught out with those 2 choke points. Plus the additional like kind of venom wall that comes up from the side here that just be able to hold it out. So, you know, opening up the space, the terrain is worked around. And this, once again, Skinny taking the brunt of all this, but has to contest this up this high ground.
It's kind of crazy that people in the chat also saying, Pegasus saying still 1 tank and they're still able to push forward here. And now Hiel trying to take away the Sia on the side of the Rocket Raccoon. And now Omega Hurricane's gonna get popped alongside with 0-1's Omega Hurricane and also the Supernova. And this is gonna get so much elims on Kingdom God's side, but Skinny takes out Chabakyu. But we do see the screen light up red here for AssembleFire to win this team fight and push past the midway point of this map.
There's just so much damage, right? When you have a Fire Nova come out. Oh, the stagger! Oh, Rethan's just able to get it. No, couldn't even deny that! Unfortunately, one strategist out of action could spell disaster for the side of MVNEsport, who have to contest this unless they want to give the second part to their opponents. It starts off with, I believe, where is that Omega Hurricane to start things off? But oh my gosh, Kingdom God just around the corner will find their mark, as well as Mafia, to say the least. True Tiger's doing their absolute best. It is the invisible boundary that will sustain the rest of his team. He'll able to get back in the nick of time.
Yeah, but the fact that they were able to take out Chabakyu in the process and True Tiger gets eliminated. Well, it gets an elimination, but now 0-1 and everyone and AssembleFire slowly whittling away the defenses of MVNE, and they unlock this checkpoint. There is that dreaded tunnel that we fear as attack side. So let's see if they can push past, because if they get past this tunnel, it's going to be really good. And 0-1 just laying the foundation here for them to take this fight away from that tunneled area.
Yeah, I mean, if we don't have to play in the tunnel, we play outside, and that's exactly what this Human Torch wants to bring, right? So much sustain, so much support. You know, even those invisible woman barriers coming in to keep this flyer alive as much as possible. And look, they've really pushed past the tunnel, which means flyers have verticality once more.
Yeah, they're gonna have to try to push this one back, but it seems like the dual Vanguard not working out quite well. We're gonna have Kingdom God once again paired up with the Supernova for them to clean up shop on NVNE's side, and there's gonna be a huge stagger because True Tiger is the last one to get eliminated. He is the Groot of this team, so they cannot push forward if that's the case. They're not even gonna go with Emma Frost anymore. Skinny's on the mag, and they tried going Groot here to try and hold their defenses, but AssembleFire not giving them any ground.
Lich back on, you know, the Bucky, maybe trying to get those 3-shot KOs onto these flyers, but 0-1 being an absolute nuisance in the back line, being absolutely uncontested to say the least. It's a bit of a battle here in this back line, as I believe Groot will be able to pop their strangling prison and get some level of value, as Lich will drop the flyer nonetheless. And at the skin of their teeth, in the last possible second, MVM hold on to this cart.
So this is where it gets really hard for attack side. If they're able to push them towards this tunnel, they have no access to the objective, and that's what they're doing just now. Pushing things back, but they can't overextend too much. They want to be able to contest far-range pokes and just deny at least the 3-point game. 2 is already a foregone conclusion, but if they can deny the 3, that's going to be a big win, or at least a moral victory on MVNE's side. coming out with it. Maybe, like you said, coming up with a Bucky could be just the difference maker for MVNE. Maybe they want to just add more damage and not go necessarily full Vanguard. But the Xenos with the Doctor Strange portal could change things. Overtime is going to get popped here. And now Kingdom God. He's going to try to look for a pickoff here as he tries to build up ultimate. Not sure if the stagger is going to be enough. And Chu Tiger taking out Kiss Me More and taking more and more out of AssembleFire.
Absolutely disgusting work, True Tiger. We've seen absolute diabolicalness from this Groot, and we'll be able to hold this point at the very least, denying AssembleFire of a third checkpoint. Hard fought battle, but they managed to secure themselves at least not a 3.
Yeah, true. Shoutouts to Blaze Raven. It seems like the fire beating wood did not come into play here. It seems like that's what they needed. They needed nature. They needed I am Groot. Can we get some I'm Groots in chat? For True Tiger, denying that was so dangerous if they weren't able to get those pickoffs. So seems like they don't need a double shield. They just need walls and a Magneto bubble to be able to make that defense work. However, they'll be pushing. So maybe they need more Vanguards on the ground to be able to push the objective. So it's still kind of dicey here, I'd have to say, because AssembleFire, they're going to be defending now, and it took them some. It took MVNE some time for them to kind of get their groove in this game.
It really did, right? Like I feel like they're, AssembleFire are really holding on to the slogan: the best defense is a terrific offense, and what better way than to run triple duelists? And chat and we're all stumped by the fact that they're running a single Vanguard, but somehow once again able to really work around the terrain, as well as a huge shout out to those strategists being very quick on the draw to support the rest of their team.
Yo, shout out to people in the chat saying we are Groot. It's MD Bar. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Ore wa Groot or Watashi wa Groot. And Swanee is we are Penny. There's no Penny yet. Don't worry. We keep that kind of energy because it might happen as the playoffs continue. But right now, it is MVNE marching their way down this midway for them to be able to push past 2 points to keep to gain the lead in this matchup. But still, we're rocking just one Vanguard on AssembleFire's side while we're all taken to the skies with the Duelist.
Yeah, Teens Lich on those, Duelists to be able to hopefully pick off the flyers in the sky. True Tiger now flexing onto the Vanguard, making their way. It's going to start off with Rethan with the Eternal Bond to make waves, but 0-1 has the upper hand right now. Never mind, Rethan, Lich, everybody cleans up shop from the start. MVN, and before you know it, this point is claimed well within their reach.
Clean, and not even the first minute. They've already unlocked it. They're not even gonna go for the Strange. That was clean as it could get. First team fight won, MVNE, with a lot of time to work. But this is where it kind of gets a bit dicey. They're able to stagger them, but now they actually have the high ground. They got to push and be very careful in this because, speaking of flyers, they have most of them. Kingdom God now with the Omega Hurricane. Well, 0-1 knows what time it is. We're going to try to get the Supernova going.
We are indeed, and every time this gets whipped out, I think 3 times out of 2, or 2 times out of 3, it's absolute mass destruction here on the site. I gotta say, it is very expensive, so you really have to pick your battles here to make it work. And for a full reset, trying to whittle down that time from 5:30 to 4:40, it's probably an ultimate worth spending.
That's true. Sometimes you gotta spend the money in the bank, right? But yeah, coming into this next one, though, you do have Chu Tiger and Tien's getting eliminated here. And now it is AssembleFire to punish back here as they continue on. They are leading in the ultimate race here. While I think Skinny is the closest one, the Magneto bubble is going to be ready. So they're setting up shop here at the high ground. Kiss Me More, trying to go for that pulse cannon. Can he get it, though? This is going to be a clip that Jarvis moment. Chat, keep quiet. They don't know. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Is he going to do it? Oh, he's waiting for the right opportunity, waiting for that Nullberry. No, he's gonna shoot right through it. Oh, it's still alive. While we do get some cleanup on the side of MVNE. Continuing on here, Sino's keeping everyone alive on AssembleFire's side. Rethan with Eternal Bond just to be able to keep on pushing. But Rethan and Lich taking out 2 for their own.
What? you know, before this team fight, I was gonna say, like, Lich has the Kraken impact, but there's so many flyers for the set at AssembleFire. How much impact? Lots of impact.
Yeah.
Lots of impact. Spice, as they basically were able to clean up shop, and honestly, the invisible dimension as well, doing so much for sustain, and you know, the invisibility will deprive Kiss Me More from being able to spot out where to send that pulse cannon. So W's all across is now. Oh, the steal comes through, but the bubble just in time to survive. Not enough though, as True Tiger will be sent back to the server, and MVN will just back off, giving all the space once more.
Okay, so now we're gonna try and get the high ground here by Kingdom God. Shoutouts to Daring Bacon Thief. Jarvis, yeah, don't record that. Maybe record this next one as Kiss Me More gets ready for another lineup. 0-1. He does have his ultimate. No more Storm to boot because Kingdom God did go for that Wolverine capture, but we do get the Supernova as he gets to the ground here and continues on. Takes 2, not 3 in the process. True Tiger, though, gets eliminated by gets elimination of his own with Kingdom God. So good hold on AssembleFire's side. And I do want to give another shout out to one of our chatters here. Did say the problem with a single tank, this is Swanee, is that the lack of space creation for just one potential tank. So Assemble has asked the important question to have one flyer, but you know what, creating space could be another thing as they defend. So shout outs to you guys. But now we're going to see as MVNE move forward and try to keep pushing because we still got 2 minutes left on the clock.
We do indeed. This is all going to be on MVN to keep themselves here. And the maximum pulse comes out and will find their mark despite the invisible boundary just shielding everyone. Heal and Lich are taken out of action. I don't know how much more they have within them. They absolutely do. It's the strangling prison coming out to clean up shop with everybody within that invisible dimension. Kiss Me More doesn't want to stagger. Will be taken up by Skinny. But holy cannoli, that was a clip.
Holy smokes. Just when you thought, okay, Jarvis clipped that, and all of a sudden MVNE answering back with a 3-piece of their own. We're gonna get a last stand to try and eliminate TNs, but the bubble to keep them alive, and Kingdom Gods gets eliminated. We're gonna see the invisible boundary to try to keep everyone alive, making True Tiger get an elimination. Xenos, though, is gonna light up the dance floor where Mafia gets the Psionic Seduction to keep everyone at bay. But right now, MVNE slowly but surely pushing, and we do see Kiss Me More, unfortunately, not getting anything out of that maximum pulse. He gets eliminated for his troubles, while MVNE still in the numbers game here, try and push for this point, but AssembleFire doing a great job holding their ground.
Once again, so much verticality, right? Like, you can't just aim at ground level. It's 0-1, doing so much work. And if you can peel these crosshairs away from eyesight onto the sky, it just leaves more space for the rest of the teammates to flood in. This is probably why they can only survive with a single Vanguard.
Oh, but now we see the Kingdom God able to get elimination on Skinny's side, but it's still all good. AssembleFire still doing a great job holding point, while MVNE less than about to be 20 seconds on the clock for them to try and push this, while Kiss Me More actually gets a far range kiss of death on to the goddess of death, Tien's. So it's gonna be the final stretch here, Multitudes.
I don't think they can even teleport their way on to 2 seconds. They need to touch. Do we have enough time? No one's on the card. And the symbiotic surface will go to the way of AssembleFire. What a brilliant show of display.
Yeah, just the way that they're able to still make it work with just a single tank. Chat did say that getting 2 tanks is really good because they create that space, but if you have reliable duelists like 0-1, like Slowest Soldier, like all these guys from AssembleFire, you really just need that one tank. You just need that one Vanguard here. So Kiss Me More and 0-1, just the menaces in the sky. I honestly feel him Defoe meme where he's just looking up like when he hear maximum pulse. It was like every 25 or 30 ever so seconds, he always had a maximum pulse, and he just kept going at it, even though some missed. The fact that you're still living rent free in your opponent's head that you could have a maximum pulse could be enough mental damage that they did cause for them to win this match.
Yeah, and no strategist will be able to best that. As long as you have line of sight, you're good.
The first map, so they're gonna try to replicate that same type of strategy, but I mean, AssembleFire probably thinking, fool me once. All right, shame on. Wait, fool me twice. Shame. I don't know the saying. I'm cooked right now in the brain. But you can't fool. You can't do a one-trick strategy on AssembleFire. They're probably gonna think, all right, we lost in a domination in the first map. Let's not let that happen again.
Yeah, and the ban, the insta ban from the side of MVN during phase 2 here. 0-1 will be deprived of that Human Torch. Probably the right thing to do, especially because we've seen 0-1 more in the Human Torch, then the Storm is supplemented onto the Human Torch, and then you get a Fire Tornado at the tail end. So that's probably the wiser pick as compared to the Storm.
True. I think the fact that, because with Storm, right, at least you'll be able to disperse here, at least just get the Fire Tornado out. Is a good targeted ban on the side of MVNE. Now, they did lock in Loki and Magnetos, so at least when it comes to divers, they're able to kind of have the Loki lanterns and also the shield to kind of just be something for divers to kind of second guess. But this allows AssembleFire to ban out the Storm of MVNE and lock in a Storm of their own.
Yeah, True Tiger now deprived of their signature hero, and then 0-1, I'm guessing, or is it gonna be Kiss Me More? Not sure, but wait, I don't want to say anything too much right now. Kingdom God might be on that Storm, but I'm looking at 0-1. Don't get my hopes up. I've seen it go either way. Posh Slice.
I don't know, man. I would definitely love to see that, but we can't call it just yet. Even on Mafia side or 0-1 side, we gotta call it when the round starts. But for now, we're just gonna keep it kosher. We're not gonna be able to call anything just yet. We just had a lock-in of the Loki and Mag on MVNE side, which I feel like the stakes are super high on the side of MVNE because they cannot afford to lose unless they will be sent out of this tournament.
Yeah, interestingly enough, we didn't see a Punisher ban this time, so that might come out strong. Wait, I'm just looking. No, sorry, I missed it. It was banned for the side of MVNE, which is the right move, right? Especially because if AssembleFire wants to take to the skies again, taking out that Punisher for the Vietnam team is going to be key to unlocking the skies.
Yes. True. Wait a minute. We should just... No, we're not going to get it. I'm so sorry, Swanee. I know spiders in every game. I'm telling you, could have been the difference maker, but we have treated to 0-1's Iron Fist, though, and I'm excited to see that. Hopefully, they'll be ready for that. Rethan and Skinny do have anti-dive comps, but we've seen how 0-1 is just such a hard target to pin down. Kiss More hiding behind this real estate just to get the advantage with a Unibeam, and now just peppering in some damage here just to keep everyone at bay.
Yeah, it's the dogfight up top right now, and no one's getting the better of any so far, but it does seem like AssembleFire will have a bit more map control as Kiss Me More does unleash the Uni Beam, just able to clear out some of these Loki clones, and Captain America doing their utmost best as teams in the back line to try and disrupt, but the survivability is not enough for the side of Shabaki. Will go down eventually the trades, but Lich and True Tiger there with the support for Captain America to clean up shop, and the point slowly but surely will go to MVNE.
MVNE, the trade-off was kind of in AssembleFire's favor, but the overextension and Tien's doing the cleanup just to be able to get eliminations that he needed were definitely something to turn the tides for now in the favor of MVNE. But you know things about pendulums, they can swing the other way. MVNE can't be careful, has to be very careful. We do see that's the butterflies to be able to actually get so much elims, but that is going to put a mark on AssembleFire to get True Tiger out of this game.
That's absolutely diabolical for the side of the Psylocke. True Tiger with a single ultimate just disrupts the timing, forcing a hard reset, and probably can get back in time to support the rest of this 5-stack here for MVNE. And Kiss Me More is going to try and lead the charge. I see them having the pulse cannon. We'll see how this works as it's going to be Lich with the Supernova holding on to this choke point, but Iron Man just dashes right by it. The crystals popping just to put the whole thing in place. And oh my gosh, True Tiger has the absolute drop on the Iron Man, denying it. A trade for trade. Kingdom God won't be able to find so much value with this Storm. And is it AssembleFire's time to fire back?
That's the thing. It kind of went sideways after getting that elimination. Kingdom God now using up the Omega Hurricane, but we do have the Freedom Charge to keep everyone alive. Hiel's the only one that's out. We do have Chew Tiger getting eliminated. Skinny's going to follow suit, and now it's AssembleFire's way of biting back into this match. An unfortunate elimination on to Kiss Me More. This game, domination, you kind of have to have a goldfish memory. It doesn't matter if you stumble and fall, it's how you finish, and this is their start. They're starting to gain that momentum in this matchup. Can they hold on, though, as MVNE? 77%, that is a huge percentage on their side.
And we're gonna start things off with the Eternal Bond from Rethan just to take all this space. It's the dance of the butterflies, the slam dunk. Doesn't find any more value, but Lich, Rethan, individual players from the side of NVN are gonna be able to take back this point for their own. It's over before you know it. The Staggers are coming out strong at the moment. They're gonna be hunting for that final pick. And there's only so much you can survive, 0-1. Unfortunately, we will go down 86% and climbing. AssembleFire have a final opportunity.
Yeah, 0-1 on this Strange, might portal in, but we do see Tien's trying to stagger here in a 1v1 against Luna, but right now really taking the fight to them, forcing the overtime, so now they're still able to hold point and continue on, but they do get elims on the board on MVNE's side. We're gonna get Psionic Seduction as well, just to add more pressure on AssembleFire's side. Is it gonna be enough? It seems like Lich is gonna still light up this point, but he does get eliminated with a Maelstrom of Madness on 0-1 side.
A great start with the Eternal Bond just to clear the site and force everyone off, right? The moment you can get them out into the open ground, right? Those barriers, those 4-point barriers around the point mean very little, and then they'll have to basically fall back onto, you know, I guess the conference rooms around the peripherals here of the point. So it's gonna be a great response for the side of at least AssembleFire, as MVM just need a single percent. Okay, Hella high in the sky, trying to rain down. Was that Hella?
No, it was Kingdom God, but we have a magic. Hold the phone, folks. Kiss Me More going for the magic dive, and now able to get 2 elims. Kingdom God setting out Chew Tiger as well as Lich. Excuse me, Magic on board. Can we get some W's in the chat for Magic? Hopefully y'all got your Twitch drops, because that Magic skin is ready for you if you get those Twitch drops going. And Kiss Me More, just making sure that everyone is on point here. I thought that Rethan on the lanterns would have stopped the dive, but no, we just need another diver, and we have Magic on the board.
Dark Child also available as well, but we're going to start this out with an Eternal Bond just to be able to contest this point in the last possible second. Gives me more, trying to find so much value with the dip and dive. This Meteor M coming up top. Will they find a dunk at any point in time? Dark Child will be able to use as well. There's so much chaotic, so many particles flying around. It starts with Kingdom God being sent back, Heal having so much value, and the Eye of Agamotto unfortunately saved by a very well-timed fate of both worlds. Oh, it's so good coming up from the side of MVN. They're able to clock into overtime, but AssembleFire, they need to touch this point to get themselves in the game, or else point number 1 will be going to the Vietnam team.
That was a hard-fought battle on both sides. My goodness, we did say when it came to domination, it really went back and forth, but this was as close as you can get. 99 on both sides. We do have a bit of stumble on AssembleFire's side. I wonder if Kiss Me More is going to still stick with the Magic, because as long as they have those Loki lanterns, it's going to be really tough for them to get those dives going. And you saw the Magneto Bubble able to keep people alive when the dives do happen. So let's see if adjustments are going to happen as we head towards the waterfall area in this domination map.
Oh, interesting pick on to the Magic, not one that we see often. Found a little bit of value, but perhaps the Wolverine will do a bit more. You know, AssembleFire have been working their Magic, now actually hopping 0-1 onto the Groot. Double Vanguards, to say the least. Haven't seen that in a hot minute.
That's, you know what I mean, business. All right, let's go double Vanguards, guys. That's that's when you know that, like,
twice
okay,
as many Vanguards.
I'm sitting up. It just got real, guys. 2-for-1 Vanguards, okay. But now a kidnap right away onto Tien's, and an early Elim on 0-1 side to take out Tien's, the diving Vanguard. And now he's gonna put up walls for them to cut off any of the resources as they try to claim first point. Mafia taking out Chew Tiger as the Vanguards push them back to spawn.
jeez. I feel like Tien's didn't know what hit him, right? It just collapsed on every single position right now as the terrain re-evolves for a bit of a split play here. Kingdom God wanting to reshape it to basically have a bit more, high ground access to say the least, and provide some supporting action for their Loki.
I'm sorry, I actually forgot. AssembleFire has access to Loki. So this gives them a lot of potential here to set up crossfires. So now Kingdom God going for the Omega Hurricane, able to get the back line. He's going to try to get some elims on the board. Skinny getting 0-1, but now AssembleFire slowly but surely, as Kingdom God did overextend, they got eliminations on the board for MVNE. So great job for them to hold the point.
That's the thing about all these close corners, right? And a beautiful feral leap to be able to slice and dice. That's Lich staggered out against MVN. That's a big one, right? It's just gonna let that percentage creep on up, 43 and counting.
Yeah, so now it's MVNE's job to kind of counter this Groot as well as Wolverine comp. They do have a diver in Captain America, but not sure. Wow, Skinny able to take the Chiraku. So a great pick off on the side of this Magneto, and now Rethan getting the God of Mischief to allow the defensive ult to boast so that they can capture this point. But is it gonna be enough? AssembleFire have their own ultimates of their own for them to be able to use to stay alive, but it's Kingdom God to fall first on AssembleFire's side.
It is indeed, just as that Fate of Both Worlds expires, and now we can continue with some supernova action. MVN are really throwing everything in the kitchen sink, but somehow AssembleFire are still finding some hits just to be able to KO all these players. The sustain coming out for the side of Mafia keeps everyone alive and can't find the Flying Human Torch just yet, but we'll find Xenox and Chewbacca. He will be traded out. It's a back and forth so far. There's so much high ground that allows these clones to make so much damage, and Kingdom God couldn't do anything more. 99% and counting. Overtime clocked in. But fortunately, in the midst of absolute chaos, MVN are going to be able to sustain and clock their own.
Wow. Look at that. You see Chu Tiger going for the Doctor Strange just a touch point, and now he went back for the thing. Man, the frantic pace of it all is just one to behold, and you got to give it to both these teams. They're really keeping pace with each other's offensive lines and also their responses. Now, MVNE want to hold their ground, have no kidnaps going on their side, since Chu Tiger did go with the thing, and we're going to go on Lich's side to try and get rid of this Loki, but the Lantern has to be prioritized first. We're going to keep on shifting while Lich gets the best and gets rid of this strategist, and MVNE wrecking havoc for AssembleFire, really able to adjust to the pace that they brought to the table.
I like Lich's, aim prioritization, really isolating out. Had a choice between a duelist as well as a strategist. Chose to work on the strategist itself. That last minute stagger from 0-1 as well, just to be able to buy MVN a bit more time. But these choices that the duelists are making is so much more now. All eyes on Kiss. All eyes on this Wolverine. Is spotted out now. We'll be in for a bit of a fight. We has to regroup and find the thing. But actually denied any sort of movement due to that invulnerability status. So inwards we go as well. Still looking out for a bit of a prey. And clobbering time will start things off to initiate some chaos, and Kiss Me More could not find anything more. Coming out with the last stand. Here will find Xenox to give themselves a bit of advantage.
And we do get the Eye of Agamotto just to stagger a little bit, and we do get Lich getting Kingdom God out of this map. Final seconds actually for both of these sides, and AssembleFire could not respond in time, and it's MVNE that slowly but surely, they did Multitude. So now this is the real last stand of AssembleFire if they want to stay alive in this domination. But it just seems like the numbers game, the ult management on MVNE's side is just a little too much. They're staggered too much for them to try and win this next team fight. Tien still has the freedom charge to keep everyone alive, and AssembleFire slowly falling while MVNE win 2 games in this domination map.
A clean 2-0 sweep, which means we're going the absolute distance. It's but the second matchup of the night that we see a map 5, and MVN are bringing the absolute heat to test AssembleFire for their Baton.
And how poetic is this? Bringing the heat and Lich getting the MVP status with this Human Torch. Big shout outs to MVNE really rallying back. I would have to say, I think we definitely see the type of play style and strategy, or like the calling card of AssembleFire, right? Let's prioritize violence and let's not put shields, and let's not prioritize vanguards on the board, and just introduce the chaos and make sure that we play on our best possible duelists. So I'd be surprised if they lock in Johnny Storm and Storm. They lock those in and forget the rest. They just want to be able to make sure that team up is possible, because those are the team ups that really gave a lot of value on AssembleFire's side. Iron Man is going to be taken out while MVNE is going to lock in the Storm.
Yep, I think True Tiger wants their Storm back into action. It was previously banned, but with the opportunity, it's all give and takes, right? AssembleFire banned out Loki. You got to take one back for yourself, which is going to be the Storm. Magneto ban. This might be the opportunity for AssembleFire to do some crazy Vanguard bans. No, but you hop back to the Cloak and Dagger. C and D now taken off.
Yeah, dude, lock in the Storm. That would be so crazy if they lock in the Storm. Are they even not going to prioritize any Vanguards and try and go for a strategist? No, they want the Strange. So just at least to have one for Mafia to work with. But this kind of leaves a Storm ban on the side of MVNE, which they might go for, or will they try and eliminate another strategist?
Okay.
Wolverine.
Okay. I mean, I think they're really thinking, both teams are honestly thinking about the pain points, right? Loki from the side of MVN, we got Wolverine as well as Iron Man for the side of AssembleFire, all taken off the board. Not too shabby, but they've secured their comfort picks, especially the duelists, to say the least, now that we've gone deep into map number 5.
We talked about it, right? It's definitely gonna be a dogfight. I feel like it's Top Gun right now. It's how everything, this whole matchup is just flyers, just pumping damage from above and making sure that they got those synergies going on. And the fact that you mentioned it, that they took out Iron Man, they took out and made sure to lock in their duelists of choice is super important. So coming into this map, we did see it in the previous one. I would say kind of 50-50 when it comes to unlocking the first objective, because the spawn point is quite close by, and it's not as far when the defender side have to respawn. So we just have to wait and see, folks, but hopefully y'all are still with us, staying strong in chat. Final game of MVNE versus AssembleFire. One will be moving on, and unfortunately we'll have to say goodbye to one of these teams. Is it going to be Vietnam? Is it going to be Thailand? Let's find out together.
Yeah, we'll have to dig deep, as both these teams are bringing 100% of what they can bring. True Tiger hopping onto the Groot, a bit of a change up. 2-2-2 seems to have worked for them, but they hear the teleport. They wonder where that might be. It's going to be AssembleFire taking the other corner of this point for the high ground for themselves.
Yo, Kingdom God on the Black Panther. Okay, I see you, King. Let's see if he's going to get anything going on here as he gets dangerously low and actually gets eliminated. But a 1 for 4 or 5 pickoff on AssembleFire. So they give away a duelist to be able to try to get a team wipe. Hiel is going to try his best to skate on his way back, but you got to be very careful. You can't approach willy-nilly. Rethan, though, might have a portal to work with. He's gonna try and get as much as possible, but he's gonna get a 1v1 going on here as they try to get this team fight going before they unlock that next checkpoint. That third mark is so elusive. Can they do it though?
That's the real question. Is it's gonna be AssembleFire firing on all cylinders at the moment. Kingdom God on the BP, the dash reset, doing so much work. He will come back with the BRB, but I'm not sure it's gonna be enough as Kisses Me More will find just more effectively, like the namesake. Still one on the point, but already the Supernova is already online, and you just can't sit on this point, so it will go the way of AssembleFire.
The fact that 0-1 got that Supernova so fast is terrifying. And now Kingdom God knows, all right, we're pushing the point, let's have more poke damage, while 0-1 gets the attention of this Luna, stays alive, but Skinny takes out 0-1 in the process for overextending. So, MVNE trying to fight back in this matchup.
They have to take all this space as early as possible around this right-hand corner. as I think the Cosmic Yarn is activated from the set of teams to be able to supply the rest of the firepower onto the defensive team. MVN taking all this map control for themselves. So AssembleFire doing the smart thing, just waiting for that Cosmic Yarn to expire.
Yeah, so Kiss Me More on this Ultron might provide a little more damage in the sky. Gonna get that sleep onto Skinny. Eye of Agamotto, but it's gonna get countered here. Chu Tiger with the final judgment, able to take out 2, 3. No, Rethan able to take out 3. So MVNE doing a great job holding point here. Kind of expensive, but they still got 3 ultimates to be able to spend here on this next team fight, while AssembleFire, great start, but kind of losing some steam here. They have to approach with caution in this next retake of the objective.
Yeah, MVN have to be happy. They actually at least teased out Xenox's a fate of both worlds.
Right.
So it's going to be, the invisible boundary to start things off. 0-1's trying to be a nuisance in this back line, but so much variability is being denied as Lich on the storm will crack open Omega Hurricane, can't find anything. 0-1 trying to do their best to disrupt this. And Chewbacca as well as Mafia. Oh my gosh, this Mantis is W-king their way through. A duelist to boot, hiding in the skin of a strategist, goes the way of Chewbacca. Holy!
Chabaku, holy smokes, don't make her angry. This Mantis was clicking heads, giving damage boost, and pushing forward. W's in the chat for Mantis mains out there, because Chabaku really making it work without a Guardians comp. Who needs the Guardians comp when I got this Mantis player on my team? Now we've unlocked the second checkpoint. This is where it gets kind of dicey, Multitudes. They have to walk past this bridge, and there could be potential pushes coming from the Invisible Woman of MVNE.
Yeah, teens hopping on to that soldier as well, just to be able to make sure that we deny some aerial superiority from the side of AssembleFire. And that's actually coming out very strong, right? Along with True Tiger, really able to push through and make a lot of space for the MVNE team. And they'll have to cap the point once more to make sure that they can continue getting this Fox in the move.
Hell yeah. So now AssembleFire doing a great job. Slowly but surely, they don't have to make the turn just yet. Building up their ultimates because they know they've been counting the seconds. Chu Tiger able to actually get the Strangling Prison. Can't get any value. It seems like Lich able to take out Kiss Me More as well as Kingdom God. The damage is piling up and they're able to stagger AssembleFire. 0-1 making sure he's not going to join the fray and be another victim on the board. He's going to stay away from the violence. So far, so good on the side of MVNE. They have to hold this point.
Yeah, and I was just thinking, great, Strangling Prison. Was the Eye of Agamotto really needed? Okay, maybe not. You can argue either way. Once again, every single advantage counts as we move into another team fight. It's going to be Kingdom coming with the final judgment, just absolutely nailing everybody. It's a 5-stack, and Rethan doesn't want to give anything more, falling to their own KO, sending themselves back to the server. Absolutely diabolical. I think the Soul Resurgence was popped, but that slow heal over time, not able to sustain against the judge themselves.
Yeah, that was insane. AssembleFire now marching their way past the trickiest checkpoint here. And now Kingdom God providing eyes in the sky here. Well, we do have a turret set up on Kingdom God's side. Mafia going for, oh my god, able to actually get the freeze and also 0-1 to capitalize on that beautiful Eye of Agamotto. Staggers everyone and now final seconds to push. Are they going to be able to get it? Can they hold point here? Chu Tiger and Skinny just respawned. It's going to be a final KO. I'm not going to get it. Sorry, I spoke a little too soon, but just like that, I really feel like AssembleFire loves the Convoy and Convergence maps.
They do. They feel so in control. I feel like them talking as a team, you can really very obviously see the team calling for pulls and pushes together, right? 0-1, just waiting for the push around these corners, not giving away any information, but once their whole team is on the W key, they emerge ready to strike fire and fear into their opponents. And that third checkpoint under the belt must feel so comfortable now.
Yeah, man, the way the final judgment popped and also Chabaku clicking heads. My goodness, I think people in the chat were kind of popping off. Like, who needs Guardians when you got Chabaku on your team? We don't need any of that. It's all good. But now, switching sides here, MVNE still not... AssembleFire not out of the woods just yet. they need to defend properly for them to move on in this tournament, but not if MVNE has to say anything about that. They want to replicate that same type of success. However, I wonder what Rethan is going to be using. I'm not sure if it's going to be Rocket or he's going to switch out to another strategist, but it seems like they want to prioritize DPS, duelist damage and maybe just one Vanguard?
I'm not. Well, AssembleFire have done this single Vanguard. They feel in control. They maybe want to do this. This first point has a lot of defensive high ground, so a lot of terrain that they can hide around and get the drop on it. Teens easily spotted very early. We'll have to back out, so no sudden kidnap from that perspective. Regroups with the rest of his. Skinny's Doctor Strange berry is just being absolutely shredded by this Kingdom God setup.
Tien's is dangerously low, but Kingdom God able to actually get 30% on his ultimate. So now that could provide them a lot of value if he's able to pop that ultimate, forcing out them for this push and forcing out defensive ultimate on the side of MVNE. Using a lot of cooldowns, but Hiel takes out Kiss Me More in the process. So great start. Can they push forward though is the question, as Kiss Me More is back to respawn. Still, it's all good because they're running triple supports. And triple, oh my god, hang on. Tien's trying to go for a kidnap, but actually takes out Mafia in the process.
Great stun coming from there to be able to take out. Skinny tried their best to save the day, but just a little too late. Shabaki once again wanting to be an absolute menace here against Skinny. It's going to be the invisible boundary popped by Rethan just to be able to secure this site possibly. But now Shabaki already has their soul resurgence to be able to take the sites. Hayo with the response. Invulnerability to all these players, and the portal plus the AC-130 turret just to be able to whittle down once these invulnerabilities drop.
Oh my god, Eye of Agamotto, but Omega Hurricane just to boot it up. That's crazy. Lich taking out 0-1, but Chabakyu taking out Lich in the process. True Tiger, we see him on the final judgment, but he gets taken out as well. So it's just a constant back and forth, and we haven't even locked the point. It was a dance off to save the point, but AssembleFire able to come back to point. Tien's forced to kind of go back into this. We're gonna see a portal turret on the side of MVNE, but AssembleFire possibly know that something's gonna come in the shape of all this damage. Can they get a pick off though is the question.
The target onto the counter, turret was so important. True Tiger will be able to find 0-1. Teens will be dropped. Eye of Agamotto! Absolutely diabolical, fighting so many marks, cleaning up shop. That should be a comfortable MVNE take as they clean up the final remaining straggling players from the AssembleFire squad. And the first point will be theirs with 4 minutes to boot.
I would say that was a great take. You know what? They tried going in with the portal turret, and they surely did it with the Eye of Agamotto. So Skinny, great play make there while he was able to get that. So now they got to push the point here. Gonna clean up a little bit of that bridge area just so that they won't have any advantage coming in as they try to defend. AssembleFire still sticking to the one Vanguard here. Kingdom God all set up on the back lines, but you know what? Kiss Me More still hasn't gotten much value out of this Ultron just yet. So let's see. Chabaki is going to try to push, but we do see Rethan with the invisible boundary to keep everyone alive. Chabaki with the Soul Resurgence, not as good, and he's going to get taken out. Another Eye of Agamotto, but a response with a Fate of Both Worlds to keep everyone alive on MVNE's side.
Just enough to keep all of this, and a great hook from Teens on to Mafia. This opens things up for AssembleFire, who we talked about a single Vanguard. That's your frontliner out of action, and this allows the rest of MVNE to storm into these two choke points. I feel like that's the map design that we've seen so much. Second phase always has these two small choke points, and as long as MVNE can hold back the barrier, but with the revival from Mafia, we come up with a brilliant bang!
My God.
Especially with, oh my gosh, it was just too much to bear. And before you know it, second checkpoint will be under the wings of MVN. Question is, can they force an overtime?
Yeah, that's gonna be tough. True Tiger, I mean, his value out of that last final judgment was fine because he had a 3 or 4 person takedown. But Multitudes, I just have to call a spade here. I think MVNE, with relative ease, able to unlock that first checkpoint. Now we're pushing past to get 3 points on the board with a lot of time left. And it was the final judgment on the side of Kingdom God to be able to win this next one. But Kiss Me More and Kingdom God using both their ultimates, only getting one person eliminated. That's a lot of value being spent here on AssembleFire's side, while MVNE, so much checks on the board.
Yeah, they're
checks
sitting
that they can
comfortable,
cash.
Right? They have to be happy that they basically backed off. They got their cart maybe pushed a third of the way for free, not using any ultimates for their own. But now I hear the whispers of an Omega Hurricane coming from the side of Lich, just doing absolute backline destruction. While 0-1's trying to do their best to hold it forward on this supernova, absolutely destroying the backline, eventually taken out by TN. So it's a bit of a trade for trade, tick for tack. But the card still in one possession of MVNE, not too much longer, as now AssembleFire have the player advantage and are able to start making the backward movements of this Fox.
Yeah, MVNE cannot allow them to cross this bridge. This is a no entry zone. As you see, their Kingdom God not wasting any time, just putting the turret right in front of the objective just to keep everyone at bay. Invisible Boundary is going to keep everyone alive. Eye of Agamotto just to be able to take out AssembleFire. 2, 3, and 4 are being taken out of the board, but it is a numbers game, and MVNE tied up in terms of elims for AssembleFire, but it is MVNE still holding strong here as they try to push the objective here, trying to get the elim onto Doctor Strange, and now they're slowly but surely marching their way past this bridge.
Yeah, Mafia couldn't do anything more. Once again, AssembleFire still rocking a single Vanguard. So at least for the next few seconds before Strange comes back online, they're going to get free progress effectively. And now we open up to this final opportunity. The final judge is unleashed. And so much value! You know, True Tiger says, if you can do it, I can do it too. And without a blink, without hesitation, we are going to overtime on map number 5.
I couldn't ask for a better type of game that we are watching, and really putting it down to the wire. The pride of Vietnam versus the pride of Thailand here, trying to duke it out to stay alive here at the lower bracket of Marvel Rivals Ignite Asia playoffs. And it seems like MVNE do have a time deficit with 1 minute 40 plus seconds, while AssembleFire still have some time to cook with 2 minutes, so they did complete it faster. Again, AssembleFire, this is what they're kind of known for, but as we watch the maps, as we watch the teams play it out, MVNE slowly but surely are improving their game plan, and Multitudes, it seems like they're all about, oh, you're gonna run the Punisher?
Oh, yeah.
I can do one better. Oh, one Vanguard? I got you. Copying assignments here. What's going on?
It's you know, if you can't beat them, join them, and it really
That's
seems
true.
to be working this whole way through. And honestly, like we saw some crazy stuff coming up from Kingdom God on their final judgment, but True Tiger matched that up so well, right? They're so what do you do when a Hail Mary of bullets comes your way and there's no sustain that can outwit those bullets?
Man, I don't know. When your opponent puts all the chips on the table and you go all in as well, it really comes down to timing. And MVNE getting that, can't let it get to their heads. They have to be able to push accordingly here, and they have to make haste. They only have a minute to be able to unlock this first checkpoint, and it's going to be overtime from here on there. AssembleFire, though, still sticking to the one Vanguard lineup along with MVNE, but we do see Tien's on this Bucky. Let's see if he's going to unlock the Kraken Impact to start things out. Unable to get the med pack while we do see Kingdom God. Oh no, it actually kissed me more in 0-1 to take out 2, not 3 on the side of MVNE.
Yeah, the change onto this Ultron makes it so much more powerful, can apply so much more pressure while giving passive boosts to the rest of their team, right? Don't overextend just yet or else you can be picked off, says the AssembleFire as they regroup their way around Mafia. Once again, both teams running solo Vanguards. This is absolutely insane.
Yeah, it is, and now final seconds here on the clock. AssembleFire doing an amazing job. I think they have one more portal in them for them to try and capture this point, but Kingdom God being spaced so far back with this turret, it's going to be hard for them to walk down mid to even get anything out of this checkpoint. So now we're going to see Kiss Me More as well as 0-1 pop their ultimates to be able to take out True Tiger in the process, and Kiss Me More taking out Tien. So MVNE kind of put in a stalemate position here, haven't even unlocked the first checkpoint.
You have to reset, right? I'm looking at Rethan, I'm looking at Hyel. They both have very strong ultimates from the strategist side that can make their way, but AssembleFire, they know the plan, they know what's in store, so they're bringing the fight over to them. Chibaku starting off with a Soul Resurgence just able to contest in 11 seconds. The portal is now live, so they're at least able to touch and get on point, move the battlefield to this point as well. As teams starting to open things up. True Tiger has the final judgment nonetheless. It's a dance around this, and finally MVNEsport are going to be able to find their mark, find their momentum, claim this point for their own. 2 points, 3 points. I don't know if Mafia will have the time to touch. They will absolutely indeed. The dive in, no, the touch to be able to contest this overtime at a sliver, but they step off at the wrong moment, and so it will go the way of MVNEsports.
And that's the thing, Mafia, the sole Vanguard here, can't even touch anymore. Using up that portal is quite dire. Overtime is going to be, they cannot afford to leave this checkpoint or have any bodies outside this area. So they will slowly but surely try to push this objective as far as they can. And it just takes one, right? One crack in the armor of the defensive side for them to push all the way. But can MVNE still put the gas on the pedal here? We're going to see Kingdom God pop the final judgment, but they're going to try to eliminate the line of sight. Skinny, he's going to try and flank here, but it seems like MVNE slowly are falling down. We're going to see an Eye of Agamotto being used, only able to get out Chabaku, but not getting any eliminations. Mafia is going to take out Skinny, and overtime is going to be done.
That was so unfortunate. I mean, kudos to MVN for at least being able to claim that first point, bring ourselves a little bit through phase 2, but I feel like having solo Vanguards, Skinny leaving the rest of their team while Kingdom God popped a final judgment. I don't know so much about that, Posh. I don't know so much about that.
It might have been an overextension, an overzealous, or maybe a repositioning, but you got to give it up to MVNE, like them being able to just capitalize on that scenario there. I mean, sorry, the defending side being able to capitalize on that overextension on the attackers. So now it comes down to AssembleFire, and they do have more time on the board. And this is their bread and butter, right? They're able to get so much out of this type of maps, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. They were able to push the objective. It's going to be a matter of inches, I swear. It's any given Sunday right now. If you guys are familiar with football terms, every inch is going to be fought for. Nothing is earned. Everything is taken and, fought for.
Indeed. And speaking of that, you know, teams hopping onto the Emma Frost might be the wise choice here. Second Vanguard to be able to grace our presence as AssembleFire make their way. Chat, don't be so don't be so excited about the penny. It's always a scam. It's always a misdirect from the side of AssembleFire as Mafia lead the charge as once again the single Vanguard. And honestly, from this perspective, Kiss Me More 0-1, they allow free reign to be able to take to the skies and make their appearances in these other corners and hopefully draw attention away from the central point.
I love how Kiss Me More was prioritizing going for the Punisher because they saw how much the Punisher was able to lay claim onto the midway point with that turret. But now 0-1 able to flank from behind, taking out Lich in the process. So great start for AssembleFire just because 0-1 was able to sneak his way to the back lines and them to dominate this first checkpoint. They staggered a little bit too much. Skinny and True Tiger are out. So is Rethan and Kiel. So, oh man, a big stagger on the side of MVNE. AssembleFire really laying the foundation here with a lot of time left on the clock for them to work with this overtime.
Yeah, likely a minute to go, minute 7 seconds. The portal comes out a little late. And this is a smart move from MVN. They want to contest. They have a full minute to push it 61 meters, but you need to be able to stop it as early as possible. Okay, MVN, regroup to a bit of a safer, more secure position, a higher ground to say the least. But look, they haven't even pushed it around this corner, and that's all that AssembleFire need to do.
Yeah, Kiss Me More using up the Rage of Ultron. Nice escape on Kingdom God's side. Slowly but surely, the objective is moving forward. They gotta they gotta take up space and try to stop this from moving. And now everyone is fighting and contesting at the objective. MVNE have to pop all their ultimate Psionic Seduction as well as the Fate of Both Worlds. And True Tiger able to get the eliminations here. This could be AssembleFire. Oh my god, falling left and right. They are only on their final seconds. They need to touch point here, Multitudes.
They do. They have 3 ultimates. Skinny has 1 of their own. And Teens just round this corner. Oh my dear. Just playing around with this third party look. 6 seconds. They really need to be able to touch and get. But they find Mafia. They absolutely do. The Eye of Agamotto comes in proactively to secure themselves. Fortunately, there is someone touching. Kingdom of God retrieves and moves back onto the site. Onto the cart. And starts off with a mega hurricane. I have Agamotto popped as well to no avail. Lich will find Kingdom God, and holy smokes, it's a back and forth so far.
That's crazy the way that they were able to cancel out the portal, but now we see that AssembleFire slowly but surely trying to push. It's only the Luna that's staying on point, and that is gonna be it. AssembleFire have done enough and pushed farther enough and pushed it all the way till overtime to lay claim to victory moving forward in this tournament.
Oh my gosh, I cannot believe what I just witnessed. I mean, it was a battle for the ages, to say the least, and all these teams really trying to quickly adapt to the circumstances. Like, I cannot fault MVNE for that last minute, portal just to be able to get themselves outside. I thought they might step through and maybe try and contest, but they were worried about respawn from a defensive point of view, right? If they lose players, it'll take forever, so they'd rather maybe regroup themselves onto higher ground in the middle of phase 2, which is exactly what they did. They started off with some great ultimates. I feel like they burned maybe 1 too many and didn't have enough to sustain the long fight.
In multitudes, when it comes right down to it, with how evenly this match is, it really comes down to just seconds or inches with